Hi, today I'm going to show you how to take advantage of the Power CMS feature that is built into Design Extender. The first is while you're using the site building wizard, adding a content management system to that site automatically as the wizard builds out your site. The second is if you already have created a website, how you can add content management to that existing site. The first thing I want to do is create a new site. I'm going to call this CMS site, and I'm going to name a server. I'm just going to use localhost as my testing server for the demo today. You can use your remote server if you'd like to upload straight to there and create your CMS live. Now I have my server set up. The first way that I'm going to show you how to build the content management system is using the site building wizard. So I click on Web Assist, Build Site, New Site Sculptor Site. Now remember, these site types allow you to choose the pages that you're building out and the layout of those pages. I'm going to choose nonprofit. And if you go into Define, you have a lot more options. What I really want to point out to you in here is if you do not select the content management checkbox on the first screen, you will not be able to access the additional checkboxes that are related to content management here. So let's say cancel, and let's make sure we check that on this screen now. It's telling me that Site Sculptor is going to create PHP pages, so if you don't have PHP set up on your local server, eventually you'll need to put this all on your remote server in order to browse the CMS. So this time when I click Define, now you can see I can access these content management checkboxes. By default, everything is going to be included in content management. But say you want to build out one part of your site that you really don't want anybody ever updating, I could click on an individual page and I can uncheck this checkbox. And now that won't be included in the CMS. Another thing you can do is say use as content management template. So now that's going to set up an additional template in the CMS that people can build out pages based on this template. So those are a couple options you've got. If I want, I can save this site type as a preset. The next thing is to choose your site design. I'm going to choose one of the custom DWTs I set up as a preset. And now you can see I have my template set up for my home page and for my content page. And I'm going to include content management with this site as we checked earlier. I'll click Finish. So what this page is telling me is that I'm going to need to create a database in order for my CMS to run, that I'm going to need to upload files to my remote site if I want the database to stay current and not need to be synced later. In this demo, I'm using localhost, so if I was to push everything live later, I would need to sync my databases. The second one says browse any page and it'll automatically launch the installation wizard. So if you are doing this on localhost, you can just right-click on the file in the files floater and say preview in browser, and as that file pulls up in a browser, it'll start the installation wizard for me. And then the third step says when I come back to Dreamweaver, I can click WebAssist CMS Reload Content in the menu, and it will be updated. So the next thing I want to do to follow the steps that screen just gave me is to create my database. So I use PHPMyAdmin. You can use whatever tool you use to manage your databases. And you can see my database has been created. That's all I need to do. Now we'll go back to Dreamweaver, and like the steps told me, I can just preview any of the pages in a browser. And as we would expect, the Power CMS installation wizard comes up. So this is what is going to help you set up your CMS to make it usable. We click Get Started. This is a server diagnostic check. I already have PHP installed as well as the other things, so it's giving me green check boxes saying it's all right to go to the next step. Next, I'll enter my serial number. Here I want to enter my server name. I'm using localhost. My database I called CMS1. And I enter my username and password for my database. Now here's where you set up the main admin login for the CMS. You can make this whatever you want. And it tells me that my installation is complete. I can now continue to the admin. And here you see Power CMS set up. This is the browser-based content management system that allows you to manage your content on your website that you set up using Design Extender and Dreamweaver, all from a browser. So one of the things you could do is hand off your own website to a webmaster or somebody that you want to manage your site. This is also great for working with a client. You hand off the admin login to a client and they can manage content and you're not stuck being their webmaster. So there are a few great ways this can play out for you. Let's go ahead and go to the About Us page. And because I selected this as a template in the wizard, you can see there's a plus button so I can add pages. So let's call this page Our Team. And you can see that now I have a subsection called Our Team, and I can edit the content on that page. And I can go through each page and add my content wherever I want, edit it, change things around, and then when I go back to Dreamweaver, we're actually going to be able to see that. Let's go ahead and edit just one of the regular pages that the site built out. Let's say first news story. This is my first news story. We'll click Update. There are a lot of features that you can use from here. You can go into the page optimization and you can add keywords for SEO. You can see the history on what you've done with this page and you can revert if you want. For now, let's go back to Dreamweaver. And let's go ahead and look at that content in Dreamweaver on our news story page. And you can see right here in Dreamweaver, my content has been updated from what I typed into the CMS. It says first news story as my title, and this is my first news story as my content. That was something we just changed in the browser. You can also change your content right in Dreamweaver. Down in the Property Inspector, you want to click on Edit in Dreamweaver. And here I am going to say, don't you love this news? We'll go ahead and save it. We closed the temporary page you were editing the content from, and now you can see this is my news1.php file, and the content has all been refreshed. So let's go to our template. And let's say the logo is actually a content area we want to edit. Maybe we run banner ads in this area. So we would select the area we want to use here. And then we go to Web Assist, CMS, add content to Power CMS. So let's create a new content location. We'll specify that this is in the template, and we'll call the content area logo. Click Finish. And you can see here that a new content area has been specified. When we toggle back to the browser to make sure that our client or whoever's managing the website can access that area we just created, you can see a new area has been created called Template. And the content area called logo is right here when we click on it. You can see our logo is there. If we want to edit it, We can click on the logo here. We could go ahead and change that and hit update, and the website would be automatically updated, and Dreamweaver would also pick up those changes. The next thing I want to show you in this video tutorial is how to add a content management system to a site that you already have. You may not want to use the site building wizard because you already have something, but you want to take advantage of the content management feature in Design Extender on your own website. So first of all, make sure that you're using PHP Pages to start adding the CMS. I have open my template here, and I'm going to create a content area on it. Say I want to keep the sidebar on my template always fresh. I'm going to highlight the area that I want somebody to be able to manage via the CMS, and I'm going to click on Web Assist, CMS, Add Content to Power CMS. Now I haven't defined a database connection for this site yet, so I'm going to go ahead and toggle over and create a database. Okay, I have a new database to use now. I'm going to define my connection. Great, so now I have a connection. This new content location I'm creating is in the template. So let's specify that. And the new content area, we'll call it sidebar. I'm going to click Finish. So I get a notification that tells me I basically need to push all my files up in order to run Power CMS in the browser. I go ahead and click OK. I'm going to go ahead and update my template based on this. And as expected, the installation wizard will get launched. The first step of the installation wizard checks that I have everything installed on the server I'm running this on. I go ahead and enter my Design Extender serial number. My database connection is already set up, and I can set up an admin login. This is what the person will use to log into the browser-based CMS. My installation is complete. I'm going to continue to the admin now. Okay, and you can see this is the template that we set up, and this is the content area that we set up. So I could go ahead and edit this here. Sidebar title. Sidebar news. We'll just edit this for the purpose of this demo so you can see it. We'll go ahead and click Update. And then we'll come back to Dreamweaver, and we can click Reload Content. And you can see that my content has been updated here. Sidebar title, sidebar news. Now if I wanted to edit this in Dreamweaver also, I can. I just click Edit in Dreamweaver. Let's go ahead and change this to say Exciting News, and we'll make it bold. And we'll go ahead and save it. And when we come back to the template, you can see that this has been updated in Dreamweaver as well. So these are a couple of simple examples of how you can add content management to your website. I'm sure you can see the potential of what you could do with this feature. I hope this has been a helpful demonstration on how you can add content management to your existing site or create content management as you're building out a new website. If you want more information, please visit us at www.webassist.com.